back to Wednesday. I'm Dawn here in the Real Simple Test Kitchen with another special guest.
Libby Seil.
Libby Seil, our senior editor, is here today. We're conquering fears, like we've done all June and now July. We can't believe it's July.
No.
As part of our Get It Done campaign, as you guys know, we surveyed the staff and wanted to know, like, what do you want to get done? What do you want to specifically learn in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And Libby said,
I want to get better and learn more about cooking fish. I don't have much confidence in cooking fish.
and Libby is a very confident home cook, but the fish thing is kind of hang.
I love fish, but I just never make it at home.
Yeah, and I think both of us, it has been revealed, didn't eat a lot of fish growing up. Like, my mom never cooked fish. I think also because she was sort of intimidated, and you know, that's fair. So we're gonna do 3 easy weeknight fish things that I think you can do. We've got a little, these are Bronzino fillets. We're gonna go crispy skin here. We're gonna slow roast some salmon, and we're gonna stuff some whole fish too, so don't freak out. Let's quickly go over the rules. Also, just to back it up, guys, it's Wednesday, but it feels like Monday, right? So like we might be a little slow, a little less energetic. We're ramping up to full speed, so bear with us. But just to go over the rules, we wash our hands, which we did before you guys got here. Hair's back, so you don't need to panic, and we play nice. If you have any snarky comments, please check those at the door. If you cannot help yourself and you have to be mean, you are now dismissed. This is a constructive teaching kitchen, and I aim to keep it that way. So if you don't have anything nice to say, so long. And know that we can come find you on the internet. You are not anonymous. Okay? So let's cook some fish. So the first thing we're going to do is slow roast the salmon because it takes a minute. So one of Libby's, not complaints, but like bullet points, was that you feel like you're often overcooking your fish.
I get nervous when it says sear for 3 minutes, and I'm like, that can't be enough. And then I'm searing for much longer, whatever it is.
Right. And truthfully, a lot of recipes will still give you the indicator. I know you guys, I've talked to you about indicators a lot, and how important those are. We'll say to cook the fish until it flakes. Once it flakes, it's cat food.
Yeah.
So we're not actually going that far. If you're nervous about it, like, it's done when it flakes, but you don't, that shouldn't be your indicator. I'm going to show you a way around it. So these are just 4 skin-on salmon fillets. You could take the skin off if you wanted, but this is how we bought them, no big deal. We're going to slow roast. It's almost fail-proof.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I've got the oven on 300. Right here. I've done it at 275 and I've done it at 300. I'm generally impatient, so I feel like those 25 degrees will make a huge difference. It's weeknight, like, let's heat it up. But lower and slower is going to mean less of a chance that you'll have outside seared and inside either not done, and you'll be nervous. So the way I like to do it, this is regular 9x13, whatever baking dish you've got. I threw some spinach in there because we have it.
Yes.
This is like a half of that clamshell.
Okay.
So like a couple of handfuls. And what I think we should do is like throw a little garlic in there. You do not have to do the greens part, but I just think it's like we might as well make a complete meal.
Yeah.
So Libby, if you want to give that a smash and like a slice, look at that. Look at that confident smash. I love it.
Should I peel it?
Yeah, peel and slice and just like scatter around there. I think I'm going to skip the, well no, we'll do a little lemon slices.
This is our trash bowl, right?
This is our trash bowl. We will do a decent amount of lemon today. I really like lemon with fish. Guys, fish comes from the sea, right? So it's salty. So a little bit of acid helps to balance that. Also, especially with fish like salmon, which is richer, fattier, the acid helps to kind of balance that out. So I'm just going to do like a few slices, and we'll scatter those around. I don't know, Libby, you said you...
So I'm scattering these.
Yeah, scatter those around. You do like a lemon, you do a lemon
I've done a lot
fish
of
preparation, right?
I've done this sort of like put it in the foil with the lemon.
Yeah. And papillote
Yes.
is how we call it in the biz. Also great way to cook fish. We're essentially, of course, we're essentially steaming it. Actually, Priyanka, behind you there may be towels like under those aprons and stuff. Are there any?
Does it look
No. Okay, we'll share this towel. Just to review, are we deciding? Thumbs up. We're gonna, guys, I think we've got to take a little break and we're gonna be right back. Sherry, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see you in a minute. We're back. And we're back. And we're back. And we're back. We're trying out this new thing with ads, guys. New to all of us. Okay, Libby is back. We're making fish. 3 easy weeknight meals with fish. Here's the thing, the other truth. In real life, I would keep all this fish in the fridge until I was ready to cook it. But I just want you guys to see this. This is a clean kitchen. Don't panic, okay? No panicking. Okay, so let me give this like a little drizz of olive oil.
too much?
No, it's okay. Go ahead. I will say the olive oil here is really just for flavor at this point. So we're just going to kind of dress it as we would, you know, salad or your greens. And then go ahead and lay the salmon on top.
Yep.
And then when I do this slow roasting, I do like to use a decent amount of olive oil. I would say, perfect. I would say, like quarter cup, half cup even. So it's kind of going to baste in the fat. So we're not going to measure those. So Libby, I just want you to take the olive oil and just give it like a nice glug on each one. More than that.
More than that. All right.
Keep going. Yes.
Okay.
Yes to that one. Yep. You got it. Keep going. And then hit this guy with a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay.
What kind of olive oil is this?
This is just extra virgin olive oil. I am not particular about the olive oil, guys. It is a thing that you will learn to taste, and you'll find like. I remember doing an olive oil tasting. The guy had me taste it, and he was like, "Doesn't it make you feel great?" And it was a silly prompt, but it was really true. Like olive oil is one of those really pure ingredients that when you taste the good stuff, you're like, yeah, this is like a lot better than the stuff I'm getting at the supermarket. So, but you do not need an extensive olive oil for this preparation. Okay, go ahead and season those fillets. Nice, good, confident seasoning. It's got it, like a little more on that last guy maybe. Good. And then we'll just hit it with a little pepper. At this point, you could like lay herbs under here. You could dump a can of chickpeas in the bottom, like make it a one-pot thing, and then it goes in the oven.
Cool.
That's it. Okay. So this will take about 30 minutes, which I think by the time we finish this other stuff, it'll be done. Right in there, right in the middle.
Question, Dawn.
Ready.
Is this kind of prep good just for salmon, or can we do it with different types of fish?
You can do it with other types of fish. I would say thicker pieces of fish. I'm just setting a timer so we don't forget. So I'd say like cod works, halibut works, salmon works. So I would say don't do it with the skinny fillets because it's just like.
How much pound-wise was that?
I would say each one of those was about 6 ounces.
Okay.
So it's at 24 pound and a half.
Yeah.
6 ounces, starting the timer, 6 ounces is about average protein piece per person,
Gotcha.
like across the board. So guys, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but when you're shopping for the family or whatever, figure about 8 ounces of protein per person because it'll shrink up a little.
Yeah.
That's sort of a safe bet. Like you got to know how big your appetites are, and you know from there. Okay, so we are going to. We've got 2 of these brown things. I'm going to do this last.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get those guys going. So guys, whole fish.
Scary.
I know that it is polarizing, and I know that it is scary. If you are freaked out by head-on fish, Shannon, Perry, Lucas, I know that you're watching. That's my sister. Just you can cut it off. You can often ask your fish person to just cut it off for you. In which case they'll give you this. They'll like take the tail off and take the head off, and that's totally fine. But I just want you to see this whole business. It's not scary, but you can. Go ahead.
Flavor-wise, is there a reason to keep the fish on when you're cooking with it?
I mean, I would say that the more you can keep the parts together, the more flavor you're going to get. Same goes with cooking meat bone on. skin on. There's a lot of flavor in the bones, and there's a lot of flavor in the skin. That's why, like, you make chicken stock with bones.
Yeah.
So, but it's not a big deal, and I totally understand if it freaks people out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see I have these on some paper towel, yeah? The main thing, well, not the main thing. One main thing with searing any protein, but especially fish, because like they're inherently wet, is to get it really, really dry. That way it will sear and not steam. So I've got this on some paper towels, so go ahead and give them a good pat inside and out.
Inside.
Yeah, inside too. And if you can get over the whole fish thing, clearly I'm talking to myself as well. If you can get over the whole fish thing, this is really one of the easiest ways to make fish for your family.
Yeah.
The other thing is you can throw this in the oven in 5 minutes, and then after it's cooked, chop off the back and the front, and nobody knew, but you did this like super easy preparation. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna stuff it.
Yep.
So, in an ideal world, we'd have a little kitchen twine. If we don't have it, it doesn't matter because we're just gonna do it in the oven. So this is a thing you can prep for the grill, but because we're inside, we're just gonna do it under the broiler because the broiler is essentially an upside down grill. Got it? Jerry's mind, just look at this. So, Libby, if you want to slice up that jalapeno,
Thin slices.
thin slices this way.
Should I get rid of the seeds?
Do you like it hot?
I do like it hot.
Then leave the seeds. So guys, when Libby starts to slice, you can see that most of the heat in chilies is in the seeds and the ribs, like the white parts. So if you want less heat, because chilies themselves actually have these like beautiful complex floral flavors that you can miss if you're just like, oh no, it's too spicy, like I don't like it. Like yes, there's heat involved, but sometimes when you take the seeds and the ribs out, you can really taste more of that flavor. So it's as much as or as little as you want. You could skip the heat altogether, but we had this chili and Libby likes it, so I thought we'd do it. So we're gonna slice up that chili, and then I'm gonna have her slice up a few scallions. Again, you could use shallot if that's what you had. You could use a red onion if that's what you had. We gave these a rinse, and I'm just gonna peel back out of there. And all we're doing is building flavor on the inside. So what we're trying to do here is like your fish and parchment, but opposite. So instead of putting the fish on top of the aromatics, we're putting the aromatics inside of it. So because it's going to touch, all the flesh in there, that's going to have really good flavor. So Libby, if you want to divide the chiles between inside, actually let's remove the paper towel. Oh yeah. And we're going to do it right on this sheet tray. And maybe give a little olive oil juice too. I'm gonna seal your knife, and I'm just gonna, I'll actually do these kind of long wings for funsies. Bianca, how's it going? Questions, comments, guys?
So far, we're looking good.
Everyone's
excited to learn how to make fish.
Everyone's playing nice?
Everyone's playing pretty nice.
Great. I hope you guys are rested from the long weekend. You hit the beach or the pool or the back deck, whatever.
This is very exciting.
What, Jerry? Jerry says we have another ad, so let's go for it, guys. We're just going to keep prepping this bronzino here in the Real Simple Test Kitchen, and we'll be back in like 15 seconds. Okay. So we've got chilies and both of these. Okay, you want to do a little salt? And we're back. Hello, folks. We are stuffing some bronzino with beautiful aromatics with Libby Style, our senior editor, and making crispy skin fish in a second. Okay, so we've got some sliced jalapeno, olive oil, salt. Let's give it a little bit of pepper. I sliced some scallions. That can go in there. This could be shallot. You could skip it. Guys, this is just like, play around with this with whatever flavors that you like. I'll save some for after because that's going to be pretty. You want to grab some cilantro? So we've kind of got this like, I don't know.
Mexicans.
Yeah, like Latin flavors. That'd be good for one. I really like to go for it with the herbs inside because once the fish is done, we're just going to scrape it out. So I think like this, and then same little bundle for the next guy. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let me close it up. And then in an ideal world, we would tie these up to keep them secure. I mean, there's a chance there's some kitchen twine in here. Let me take a quick look. But Libby, in the meantime, if you want to like give those a little drizzle of olive oil.
Yep.
And you guys can see, you know, summertime cooking is really about like olive oil, salt, and pepper, if you ask me.
Yep. And greens.
The produce and cream, the produce, the fish, everything is really at its very best. It needs very little help.
We got a question from Wendy.
Wendy, ready?
Is this one branzino per person, or how many servings is this for?
It's a great question. I would say it depends on the weight of the branzino. I mean, think about it. If you look here, there's actually a great teaching moment. Jerry, come in here. So, guys, this is essentially this is one fish, right?
Yeah.
So, I would say this is like enough for one. So I do think it's probably, depending on the appetite, one branzino per person.
Do they get bigger than this?
Yeah, I mean, he's like on the bigger side.
Yeah.
They come smaller too. So, you know, I would serve this alongside other things. Like I wouldn't just depend on the fish to fill folks up. But that's my feeling.
Yeah.
A little pepper. And then let's turn them over, do the other thing, and then we're going to throw them into the broiler.
I don't think I put salt on the outside. Did I?
I think I did.
Okay.
Okay, so just give them a roll. Actually, there's some olive oil down here, so you can just kind of like rub it around, turn it. Looking good. I'll do the salt, you do the pepper. Okay?
I want to get your pepper grinder.
Yeah.
What other fish could you use in this method?
Like trout is a great option. I really like trout. Also, for those of you who don't like fishy fish, that's me included.
Yeah.
Trout, because it's in fresh water, I find like really clean tasting and mild.
Yep. White fish generally you're good.
Whitefish is generally milder. Grouper was like the gateway fish for my family. We're like, we're not into fish. Grouper and tilefish, which you can find on the Atlantic coast, are really good options for branzino. It's really mild. You can get a super crispy fish in a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop those into the broiler. So broiler's on the other oven. And the rack is nice and close to that heating element. So Jerry, can you see in there? Let's see if I can get the oven light on. Oven light.
Oh, it's got that.
That's for that one. Oven light. Got it.
There we go.
Okay.
So this one.
Yeah, so go ahead on the top. So the only thing, these guys might open up a little bit as they broil because they're not tied, but I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to say, let's start with like 5 minutes and see how we do. So let me go ahead and close the door. I'm going to set the
Got what you
phone timer. Timer. 5 minutes.
That's so fast.
Great. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to be pretty close to 5 minutes. Okay, now for the kind of scary part.
Okay.
The crispy skin fish. So, once again, super dry
Yep.
is the key to searing anything. So actually, this was like our take it out of the package tray. I'm going to switch to a super clean tray. Clean, dry paper towel. So let's go ahead and just like pat this, maybe lay them out, and then we'll add more paper towel on top. But guys, remember, this is the same branzino, just filleted. Okay? But again, trout works. What else is skinny? Red snapper is a good one. even like striped bass you can get in like thinner fillets. I would say this preparation is best for thin pieces because it's going to do most of the cooking on the skin side. Kills two birds, so to speak. We're going to learn about the crispy skin, but we're also going to talk about the no touching thing.
Yep.
So fish, especially skin, is going to help protect the one layer, so it's not going to overcook too much on the first side. So we're going to cook it for like a couple of minutes on the skin side until it gets really crispy, and then take it off the heat, turn it over, and like walk away, and we're
Okay.
done. Okay? So really dry. Let's do one more pat just to ensure. Now, if you click around the internet, excuse me, a little bit of a frog in the throat. If you click around the internet, you will see lots of crispy skin fish preparations happening in stick pans, okay? That's the opposite of non-stick. Understand? Very confusing when you're helping your friend shop for stuff. You're like, stick? No, stick. Anyway, this is fairly advanced. I would say it's like not worth it to be scared. Okay? Just get a non-stick pan, use it for eggs and use it for fish. Okay. This is what I think.
Is a stick pan like a stainless steel pan?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
like another pan. You could, if you have a very well seasoned cast iron, definitely use that.
Yeah.
But like, let's not be scared.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think let's do one at a time. So I'm going to show you one. Now, the one thing about the non-stick pan is like some folks are a little freaked out about heating it up with no fat in it. I think great advancements have been made in non-stick. I think you have to eat this whole skillet for it to like affect you and make you very sick. I'm not a doctor, but that is what I think. I don't think this little amount of give and take. It's like, we talk on the damn cell phone all day. That's more radiation than this kind of airport security. Anyway, okay, so we've got our fish. Let's go ahead. Oh, I smell the other fish though. So that was how many minutes? That was only like 3.5 minutes. Woo! But we're looking awesome.
Ooh. That's beautiful.
Looking really good.
Yeah.
Now, so guys, that was 3.5 minutes.
Wow.
So what we can do, I think we should
Flip them?
flip him just for like another 30 seconds. Libby, I'm sorry, you should be
Nope.
doing this. Now the other thing you guys can do is, let's go, Libby, see that long spat in the front? Yes, you got it. These things are great for fish. There's the fish spatula, which you head over to our friends at Extra Crispy. They've decoded all the spatula types today. But this is, I think, a type of fish spatula, but the other ones you'll see, we don't have one out there, but like they're perforated. But they're really lightweight and they're flexible, so they're great for getting under tender fish fillets. So actually, I think this is done.
It looks
This
good
is
on the bottom.
done. Yeah. So we're good to go. That took 3.5
Yeah.
minutes. Dinner's done.
Wow.
So we'll set this aside. We'll put it over here for Jerry. And we've got some nice crispy bits on the skin if you want to eat it. If not, it's okay. But that was your whole fish. Okay, pan's getting nice and hot. Sorry, Jerry, behind you. Now, in this case, I'm going to say vegetable oil.
Because it's mild.
It's mild. It's sort of flavorless. And it can handle hot heat. So especially if you were doing this in a stick pan, that's what you'd want to do. Now, guys, you can see that our stove is a little uneven. Yours probably is too. So we want to give it like a little swish before it goes in. We're going to go skin side down. The other main thing to consider here is no overcrowding the pan. Okay, so Libby, go ahead and season these two for me. So we're just going to do 2 at a time. And one of the most important things when searing, especially fish, because remember it's wet, is when it hits the pan, you want to lay it away from you. Okay?
Okay.
So I always think it's easier to do with the skinny end. It's just like easier to handle. But you put it in, put
Skin
one
side.
end in,
Oh.
and lay it away. That way, if it splatters that way on the back splash. That's why they call it a back splash. Front splash is bad. I've had friends go to the hospital with nasty burns. So just be careful, nice and slow. And the other thing, guys, don't be scared. The other times burns happen, or when you go, ah, and then splash goes also. So just don't be scared. You might like get spit on a little. So go ahead and put a piece in. Yep, and nice and away from it. Perfect. Okay, there's a little dropsy at the end. It's okay, and then just give that pan a swirl so the oil is coming. Okay, we're looking good. Now, what we want to do is give it a little bit of pressure. Now, these are so thin, you can see they're already going opaque, right? And that's a sign that the protein is cooked. But what we want to do is give it a little bit of even pressure to make sure that all of that skin is hitting the hot skillet.
I have a quick question.
Ready?
Is this method good for cooking tilapia as casting or day?
Yes, absolutely. The thing with tilapia is you're never going to find it with the skin on.
Oh.
So, but this is a great way to sear fish, whether or not you're going for fish and skin.
How's that?
It's looking great. And we're just going to keep going.
And keep pressing.
Keep pressing. It's looking pretty flat now, like it's holding
Yeah.
its shape on its own, so you can stop pressing.
Ooh, that looks really good.
But now we can go ahead and season it. Looking awesome. Now I'm just going to poke around in the drawer and see if we can find a stitch set, because that was maybe the most important tool that I didn't grab. That we don't have. So, okay, these guys will work. Also, I like this one. He's a little bit shorter. Also good for cookies. But you'll see the fish that actually, Priyanka, can you
I
check the
dropped the
link?
link, yes.
Check the link that Priyanka dropped onto Fish Spat. It's going to make your life so much easier. Okay, so come back here. You guys can see how the fish is like pretty opaque.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere except for the top, right?
This one's kind of bad.
So let's go ahead and peek underneath. How's it look like?
It's looking pretty dark, but like good.
Pretty awesome? Okay,
Yeah.
let's give it like another 30 seconds. How's that guy look?
Woo.
Yep, you got it.
Ooh. He's going everywhere. I think he's looking good. Yeah.
Looking good. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We turn off the heat. Flip him over.
Yep.
And I would say in this case, I want you to use the side of the pan. Okay, so let me show you.
Okay.
I'll do one first.
You do
and
one.
do it. Because again, like she goes like this, splatter, scary. So instead, get close, and then you just roll it over.
Okay.
Okay? And you can do that with that one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ooh, that looks great.
Okay, so see, the pan is still screaming hot. We don't need any more heat. And we only need like 30 seconds on that side. It's going to be perfectly cooked. So you guys can see how crispy and awesome that is. Yay! Really? And that's done. Guys, the other thing about fish is it's so fast. It's so fast.
I can believe that only took 3 minutes.
That only
3
took 2
minutes.
minutes.
That's amazing.
Again, like the time may vary depending on the size of the fish and the heat of the broiler. They will vary wildly. So light up. I think you can get it up. Let me grab you a plate. And now I wanted to show you one more thing. Do you guys want to see like a quick sauce to go with these?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, we go ahead and just transfer these to the plate. Now here's the thing, guys. You've made this beautiful crispy skin fish.
Skin side up.
Skin side up, right? If you actually do that one up, so just so we can see it. See how it's like perfectly cooked?
Yeah.
No worries, okay? So just remember, especially for a piece this thin, Skin side, skin side, kill the heat, flip it over, have a sip of wine, and you're done. But generally, yeah, you did all this work to get crispy skin, serve it skin side up so it doesn't steam. Okay? But I just wanted you guys to see that. So, maybe I'll cook these other two fish and I'll walk you through the sauce.
Perfect.
Okay, so Libby's gonna make a quick chimichurri, which I know that we've made before, but I think it bears repeating, especially now because it's so good and easy on anything in the summer. It's good on tomatoes, it's good on steak, it's good on fish, it's good stirred into yogurt as a dip. So we're gonna kind of wing it because we don't have parsley, but typically it's like parsley, cilantro, oregano, garlic, red wine vinegar, olive oil.
Yep.
What we have is some cilantro, a little chili,
Olive oil.
garlic, and some vinegar. So that's what we're going to put in. Okay? So Libby, load up the dishwasher. She's doing this to me. The food processor.
Should I cut the stems off?
I would say trim those stems a little. I'm a fan of using cilantro, parsley stems, but in this case we want to trim them a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Now here's the other thing. I'm going to do this next batch of fish. I'm going to start with clean oil. Okay, that can get kind of funky, especially when you're searing at high heat. So I just want to start fresh. Not a big deal. That's the other nice thing about vegetable oil. It's generally really inexpensive.
Couple chilies.
Yeah, go ahead and put the chilies in there. Guys, chili's optional. We like them. And then you can go ahead and smash those 2 garlic cloves and put those in there. Yes.
My favorite part of the garlic. I can put these in whole.
Yes.
We have another fish question.
Ready.
What kind of fish, or do you suggest making fish if you don't like the smell of fish in your house after you cook?
Oh,
What
that's
do you do?
fair. Here's the thing. Those more mild types of fish, like whitefish, bronzino even, whatever.
Lemon?
Let's go vinegar and then we can doctor at the end. Will be, give it a whiz.
Okay.
Will be less strong smelling. Salmon will be pretty strong smelling. Here's a trick. You can boil vinegar after. It will make the house smell like vinegar, but it won't smell like fish. That's kind of the deal. Hold on to me. Let's line you up.
Uh-oh.
Something
This
crazy.
is so much bigger than my home food processor.
Guys, food processors are a thing I would recommend buying. Like, I don't blend that much, but I food process a lot.
Yeah.
It was kind of on. Okay, so
Okay.
go ahead and
Pulse it.
Pulse to your desired choppedness.
That looks good.
Oh. And then I would say let's stream in small, but keep the machine running and stream some of that in. You know what we're also going to do? We're going to add a little paprika. Turn this into like kind of a chermoula. Guys, you do not have to do this, but like changes it up a little bit. Okay, cool. Ooh, that chili smells so good. And now at this point, yeah, let's scrape down.
Ooh, that looks good. Sorry, Jerry.
And guys, you can really use any herbs, like if you're growing herbs on your back deck. Basil, oh wait, hold on.
Too much?
No, it's not going in.
Ah.
Okay, now go for it. Basil, parsley, cilantro. I would say like the woodier herbs like rosemary, oregano, thyme are going to be like a little too strong if they're the base. You can add like a little bit, but use those like leafy, fresh herbs to do this thing.
How's that looking?
It's looking pretty good. Let me see. Why don't we go ahead and scrape it into a small bowl, and then you can feel the texture a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So guys, over here we have our slow roasted salmon happening in the oven. Here goes me. Over there. Spatula. Thank you.
The large food processor for
Looking good. And guys, you can kind of adjust. This is going to be pretty garlicky because we put 2 cloves in there. So like you can make a big batch of this, keep it in the fridge for a couple weeks, and you're like good to go anytime you want to do anything. Also good on burgers. It's kind of a magic sauce. Okay, now let's put a little red wine vin in there. Again, a little bit of acid, really nice in the summer. Like wakes up all of these flavors. Like 2 splash.
like that.
Maybe 1 more. 1 more. Okay, good. Give that a stir. Now we don't have any salt in here yet. So give that a nice stir and then we'll season it with some salt. You could totally lose the paprika. I kind of like the color it gives it. You could also add some toasted almonds to this. That would be really good. Kind of like a riff on a romesco. That'd be great. Let's try this food and we can try it out. See how I'm not afraid to walk away from my fish? It is fun. Doing its thing.
About how long do you keep it crispy, or do you just eyeball it?
Eyeball it.
Yeah.
Eyeball it. Woo! It's beef spicy, but it's good. And you need a little bit of salt and a little bit of fat. We'll kind of smooth that out a little bit. Okay, I'm back here, guys, just to review. I'm taking it off the heat. I'm gonna flip it, and then I'm gonna be done.
That looks beautiful.
And remember, see how I used the side of this skillet to help me flip so I didn't splash myself with hot oil? That's the whole idea. Cool and confident. Okay, we'll let that finish up. Let's give this another taste. Back of the spoon.
That's better.
Better.
Good heat though.
Okay, and I'm going to say a little bit of lemon. You want to squeeze that over your fingers? Yep, you got it.
Angela wants to know what kind of oil you're frying with.
Angela, this is just vegetable oil. You could use safflower. You could use rapeseed. I would say not olive oil though because the smoke points low and we're like rocking and rolling on high heat. So yeah, vegetable oils are the best bet in this scenario. Okay, we need a platter. For our big fish. So Libby, maybe you want to take that big boy and scooch these onto here into there. Timer's done. Take crispy skin right here with your friends. Done. Nice work. It really is confident. I love it. Okay, guys, and then here's our slow roasted salmon.
Wow. Oh my god, that looks amazing.
So this, you know, like some sciencey folks can tell you what that is. Yeah, but it's like I believe it's the coagulated fats and proteins as they're releasing from the salmon. You can see the spinach wilted. It's gonna have nice lemon flavor. So put those slices in there. And it should be cooked through, but like really moist. Now, truth be told, this salmon was previously frozen, which will affect the texture. You guys can see, like, we're not getting those big, beautiful flakes. But
If we had frozen it and then let it defrost for longer on its own,
I still think, you know, anytime you freeze it, you're going to affect the texture.
Yeah.
That's the drawback. Although I would suggest looking for stuff that's been like flash frozen on the boat, like a lot of those salmon fillets that come in the bag frozen. Those are really good because they're frozen right after they're caught, so they're not like caught and shipped and then frozen and then defrosted. So I think if you can buy frozen, it's actually a really good idea.
Gotcha.
Okay, so then we've got here, bring over our fish platter.
Look at all of our beautiful fish.
And look at all our beautiful fish. So we'll finish this with some of our scallions. We could put like a lemon wedge on the plate just so people know what's inside. Some of the herbs on top. That would be nice. The salmon, I would say instead of spinach, you can see how much this wilted down.
yeah. Kale?
Kale, collard greens, anything like that would be nice. And then we've got our like beautiful herb sauce, which would actually be like pretty good on any of this. So I think especially good on the crispy fish.
Should I put it on top?
Let's spoon maybe.
Okay.
Which if there's not one in there, there may be some in the drying rack. Libby, what do you think? Do you think you'll try these at home?
I think I will definitely try these.
Awesome.
My boyfriend's mom, who's like the best cook I know, I'm gonna try to make that for her. She's coming
Amazing.
to visit.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, whatever you like, whatever you like. So guys, thanks for being here. This was 3 easy weeknight dinners with Libby. I hope you guys try these out. We'll be back next Wednesday where I will be shamelessly promoting my new book, Cucumbers. So if you guys have cucumbers growing in the garden, meet us back here next Wednesday. Otherwise, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Libby. We'll see you. Bye.